So there's a question I've been sitting with lately, and it's basically something that has come up in a course that I've been in. And it's a question that comes back to us often when things are a little amiss or chaotic, or there's a tremendous amount of loss in our lives, and we are just trying to navigate what is transpiring. So often we go back to what is our anchor, what is our holding space, what is the thing that keeps us grounded when everything else around us is falling apart. Hi there, this is Anita from Her Defined Path, and I'm here to share some ancestral wisdom, nature-led, intuitive medicine, and share my inner recalibration with you all. So let's dive in, shall we? So what are you absolutely sure of? I mean, if you've ever stopped to think about this question, you're going to make a list of things that you're sure of, but what are you really sure of? How do you take those things, that list that you've made, and apply them to yourself if everything else was gone? This is something that I had to do because in April of last year, I was illegally and unlawfully evicted from my apartment, and I had moved into my meditation studio. And I was in my meditation studio for 4 months, a new business I had just opened when I was evicted from there due to inability to pay the rent for those 4 months. While I was navigating homelessness and housing insecurities, as well as trying to run a new business, navigating food in a place that didn't have a kitchen, showering my dog. And so I found that a lot of my energy was going towards daily living, and I couldn't focus as much on my business, the marketing aspect, the running of the classes, the courses, all of the admin work. And at the time when I did find somebody to share the studio space with, and even consider hiring someone to do admin work for me, at least on a energy exchange, I was given an eviction notice, and within 10 days I had to be out. Now, at that time, I could have chosen to fight for the space, but I decided against that because the space was actually in a power of sale. I was in an abandoned building that had more or less had every business abandoned during COVID. And so I decided not to fight for the space, because if the building sold, regardless, I may have been asked to move. And so I just propelled that move when it was asked of me. So, what happens when you're living in your car for 5 months and you've got no job, no home, you've just lost your new business, you've got your dog, you've got your emotional turbulence, your psychology breaking down? What is there that is left of you? And apart from intuition and faith, there's not a lot holding you together at that point, because the question then becomes, who am I without all of this stuff? And that's basically where the anchor comes in. The anchor comes in to tell us exactly who we are when there is nothing else. At least I see it this way. I see our anchor as being the thing that grounds us, that connects us to our center, to the earth, to who we innately are, our core, our essence, our truest being. And that is what will guide us through all of the chaos, all of the mess, and everything else that seems to dissolve around us when it is dissolving. So, what are you absolutely sure of? Not what you hope for, not what you believe in, but what is left after all of your plans dissolve. And when the future doesn't exactly cooperate with your expectations, well, this is exactly what we are going to talk about. When all of your certainty disappears, what is left? So many of us are taught that an anchor should be a vision. It should be something that we have a clear sense of, some sort of goal. It's something that holds us. Our anchor is our family. Our anchor is our job. Our anchor is perhaps the city we are living in. But when you don't have those things, or they just dissolve in front of you, or you lose connection and ties with your family, or you don't have a job, you soon begin to realize that your anchor is actually something far deeper within yourself than any external aspect of your life. An anchor isn't necessarily a clear sense of where you are going. It is the thing that is holding you together when everything else falls apart. And for those who are living amidst a collapse of everything in their lives, this is probably a question you are asking yourself. What is holding me here? What am I doing here? What is the purpose of my life? And we are going to get into all of that on this channel. But for the moment, we need to find the thing that is anchoring you, that is keeping you connected to the earth and to your center, even unknowingly, even subconsciously. It's the thing that keeps you going. It's the thing that never fails you. And for me, I had to ask myself that question because I had already lived the collapse, the dissolve of manifesting my intentions and my vision, which we will also get into on this channel. So, what is your anchor? After everything has dissolved, after you've done everything right, after you have set the intentions and you created the vision and the form of it and the structure of it still dissolved, what is your anchor? What is left for you? For me, I realized that the words intention setting and vision became quickly a part of my vocabulary that I no longer wanted to use because I had spent the last year setting an intention and creating a vision. My entire business plan was basically a physical intention, vision, and I put that to life. So for me, I had to actually step away from some of the spiritual vocabulary of intention setting and vision and manifestation, even though I still believe them and believe in them. It was super important for me to reframe my thought process into understanding what is holding me right now when my manifestation was basically removed from me physically. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I lost faith. Again, as I mentioned, I still believe in the power of manifestation and in intention setting and visions. But something changes in us. And I believe the change that transpires is called discernment. We become extremely hyper discerned, if you will. So, what is an anchor? Back to this question. Well, an anchor isn't something that is going to guarantee you an outcome. It's the thing that is going to tell you how you are going to meet whatever is coming at you. It is the thing that is telling you, regardless of what happens, this is what is holding me together. It is that thread. And for me, I had to really understand that my anchor wasn't about certainty, it was about presence. And so my anchor became about presence because at a time when I was living in my car, you can't be anything but present because your entire body, psychology, mentality shifts into survival mode at all aspects, however subtle and however beautiful that is. I would spend my days looking for places to eat, to cook, to sleep. My dog and I would go on hikes. So my anchor became presence. It also became intuition, which I strengthened during that time because without your intuition, you could find yourself in very scary and precarious situations. And that intuition is basically a commitment that you make to listen to your body. You're listening to the land. You're becoming one in one with nature and with what is around you. It's a hyper awareness of your presence, really. It's about what is true in the moment and without forcing anything, because you cannot force anything when you are living in your car. And so maybe this is true for you or someone out there, that your anchor isn't a destination, but instead it is more of a way of life. And it's the way you stay in relationship with that life. So if you're unsure right now, you're unsure of what is holding you together, that doesn't mean that you are not anchored. It just might mean you're done with the illusion.